Hello, and welcome again to my second review for Tracy at the movies. And I just finished watching the He Man and She Rock Christmas special. And it's a movie because it was released on VHS, but it's actually in what hour episode of the regular cartoon series. So, for those of you that don't know, He Man is a cartoon, so is She-Ra. And their brother and sister, they wave a wand or a sword. They have magical superpowers. Two shows meet up, da 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 da. So the whole movie, technically, it's a TV movie, but whatever. Um, the whole thing starts off with Ordok, that little thing that floats, doesn't have any legs but moves around. He gets into this spaceship and is transplanted to Earth with these two annoying little children. I don't know what their names are. I'm just gonna call them Adam and Andor. I know that's He Man and She-Ra's name, but I forgot what their names are. It's not important, but they're annoying. So I'll call them Annoying Child A and Annoying Child B. So Orko meets these two children, Annoying Children A and Annoying Children B, and they tell him he meets them and they're getting a Christmas tree, and he's saying, I gotta save him from this avalanche. I didn't know that they had avalanches on Endora. That's the planet where He-Man and She-Ra are from. But okay, so apparently he knows what a avalanche is, and of course they say it really really loud, so that causes the snow to come down and almost tumble the children, so he saves them. And they say, "Oh, we gotta get our Christmas tree." And of course, Orko says, "Well, what's Christmas?" They skip the whole them telling them the story of Christmas, and I guess I get it because not every person is Christian, so they don't celebrate Christmas. But of course, they got to the toys, and she's like, "That's the best part." That's the little annoying girl, B. She's like, that's the best part. Oh, these children are extremely annoying. So they tell them about Christmas, and somehow Skeletor and Hordak, Hordo, I don't know what his name is, but Skeletor and the villain off of She-Ra are trying to get the children to Horday or Hordak or Horwitz or whatever the name of that guy is. I can't remember what his name is. Um, but he wants the kids to stop the spirit and the celebration of Christmas because it brings too good of a feeling. That's the plot. I mean, at least like unlike the last movie, this one does have a plot, although be it stupid, but there is a plot per se. So there's that. It does have a plot. And so he's trying to stop the spirit and goodwill of Christmas. So he has to capture these two children. Again, they skipped over the whole story of Christmas, so apparently he doesn't know by capturing these children, that's not going to necessarily stop it. But that's a whole nother point that I won't get to. So the villain from She-Ra and the Skeletor are trying to capture the children and get them to Hordak or Hordai. I can never understand his name. That's another thing that bothered me about this. I cannot understand the name of the supreme villain that Skeletor and the villain from She-Ra are scared of. Um, so backtrack. Orko and Annoying Child A and Annoying Child B are somehow saved by He-Man slash She-Ra, and they're transported back to Enthora, or I guess it's Enthora. They didn't say where they were at, but I'm just gonna say Enthora because that's the only thing that I remember from He-Man slash She-Ra. Um, and so they're like, where do you want to? And they keep talking about how they want to celebrate Christmas and get gifts. I'm like, shut up, Annoying Child A and Annoying Child B. So somehow they're She-Ra, He-Man battle Skeletor. No, they battle the villain from She-Ra who had captured the children. They get the children back. Then Skeletor gets the children, and he says, "Okay, I'm gonna deliver you to Hordak or Horday or whatever his name is. I can't remember what this villain's name is." So he says, "I'm gonna deliver you to this person, and I'm gonna be in favor." He doesn't get any money for it, but apparently he wants to stop the goodwill of Christmas too. So he says, "Okay, we're gonna walk across this cold place. Like, I don't know if it's a desert. Well, it's not a desert because a desert is hot." Um, so they walk across, and then a little annoying girl B is thinking, "Cool, cute." I'm like, "Shut up." And so essentially, they get on Skeletor's nerves. And Skeletor's like, okay, he whips him up a coat. Um, then he tells them to leave the dog, and the little annoying girl A is like, "We can't leave the dog. We can't leave the dog." So Skeletor is like, "Okay, take the dog," and then he ends up holding the dog. Um, and she's like, "I can carry him," and then Skeletor is like, "No, it'll be faster if I carry him." So by this time, Skeletor is getting the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I know it's so predictable, but Skeletor gets the uh, Christmas spirit, and He-Man and She-Ra come back. They try to capture they try to rescue, not capture. They rescue the children, and then the villain from She-Ra comes in. It's like, "No, I'm gonna deliver these children to Hordak, whatever his name is." And then Skeletor saves the annoying girl A, no, annoying boy A and annoying girl B. And he's like, "I don't know what's come over me, but I got to save them." So at the end of this 45, 47 minutes of, I can't even believe I just sat here and watched this, he's like, "I don't know what came over me. I feel different." And He-Man's like, "Oh, the Christmas spirit has came over you." It's like, "I don't like the Christmas spirit." Blah, blah, blah. So you think that's the end. No, it's not. So they all gather. The kids are back with, well, not He-Man and She-Ra. Now they're alternate egos. Adam and, I forget who She-Ra was. I forget who She-Ra was. But they're back to being those two and not He-Man and She-Ra. And so they're all like, "Oh, we'll send you home, celebrate with your children. I mean, with your parents." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So they they send them back home to uh, celebrate Christmas with their family. They do that thing like they do at the end of He-Man where they come back and they try to tell you a lesson. And then He-Man's all like, "Well, not everybody celebrates Christmas, but it's a time of joy." I'm like, stop, stop. Um, this was better than the one that I just watched. I'll give it that. But come on, who sat here and thought, you know what? We need to tell the Christmas story in a different way. I know. Let's get He-Man and She-Ra, put them in together, and then that'll get. No, Christmas didn't do anything to whoever wrote this. I mean, if you think about it, oh, maybe the intentions were good, but the execution, and there's there is a song that is saying, "Oh, it's terrible." I mean, I'm like, if y'all don't shut up, I'm gonna make a time machine, go back and beat up everybody that voiced that song. It is terrible. It has nothing to do with Christmas. He's like, "I wrote a Christmas song with a." It's not a guitar. It's like a lute. It's like that big old gigantic thing. It looks like a guitar. It's not cello, not violin. I think it's called a lute. I just don't know. I mean, Christmas, I don't know what Christmas did to this movie, but apparently Christmas must have did some bad, bad things because This, this is terrible. This is just beyond, beyond terrible. I mean, it's not an F minus minus, but it's a solid F minus. That just, I mean, it had a plot that was there. They did stay consistent, but I just don't know. You don't have to do this to tell the Christmas story. Just do what a Charlie Brown Christmas special did, and that's it. They kept it simple. It didn't have a whole bunch of plots. It made sense. This, I just don't know. I don't know how somebody sits there and says, I'm just gonna write this. I'm gonna put E-Man and She-Ra in the same movie. And then at the beginning, the mother of the two is like, this is the first time the twins have ever celebrated Christmas. Really? If they're twins, like what were they separated at birth or something where you could like really? Really? I mean, come on. Like, how stupid do you think kids of the 80s were? I'm trying not to go really ranting on and on about this because I'll repeat things, but this is just an F minus. I'm not even gonna bother linking this. Just watch it. If you need a really good laugh, watch this because this is terrible. This is terrible. F minus, awful bad. So again, because I did too, I tried to keep this as simple as possible. But if you, for some reason, like this movie, put why in the comment section. I would love to hear why you thought this was a good movie. Remember to, of course, comment, like, share, and subscribe, and support me on Patreon. All the links are in the description section. I'll see you all in 2 weeks, which will be 2021. We got some big things planned, so I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.